The Kane Pixels A24 Backrooms movie could change the future of Hollywood and filmmaking as we know it. Now to preface, I just got into the Backrooms a month ago, maybe 2 months ago when that first teaser trailer for the movie dropped. I was not familiar with Kane Pixels, I was not familiar with his YouTube series. That trailer and more specifically the hype surrounding the movie got me interested to watch his series to see what it's all about. One of the reasons I'd never really explored the Backrooms is because I'm not a huge fan of horror or horror movies for the most part, maybe with the exception of the Alien franchise. Yet within a couple of minutes, Kane's series completely changed that for me. It introduced me to an entirely new type of horror that I never knew existed before. So what does this have to do with the future of Hollywood? What does Kane's new movie have to do with the future of filmmaking? It's no secret that Hollywood and the film industry at large has an originality problem right now. We are in an age where most of what we get is sequel after sequel, prequel after prequel, or remake after remake, where in most circumstances, each subsequent sequel, prequel, or remake is lesser than what came before. The past couple of weeks are perfectly emblematic of that. Last week, we got the live-action Moana trailer. The animated Moana movie is only 9 years old, and this movie is a shot-for-shot remake, except it just looks a whole lot worse, not just because of The Rock's wig. The overall aesthetic and cinematography in the movie just doesn't look the same as the animated feature. Last week, we also got the first trailer for HBO's Harry Potter remake, despite the fact that the Harry Potter movie series is not that old. Next year, we're getting Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, a movie that I strongly feel does not need to be made, and is another prequel. This list truly could go on and on and on. Everybody is familiar with this concept. It is a major problem in the film industry today. Another major issue that has been plaguing the film industry in recent years is studio interference or movies made by committee, rather than movie studios for the most part trusting the creativity of the filmmakers behind the movie. There has been a plethora of movies that have fallen victim to this, and this is where the Kane Pixels A24 Backrooms movie comes into play. From what I can tell in this trailer, as well as to the best of my understanding what Kane has said himself about this movie, it looks like and sounds like A24 has given Kane near full creative freedom, minus some minor nitpicks such as the color grading, which the Backrooms community has been pointing out in this trailer. This looks very faithful to his original YouTube series. It feels the same as those YouTube videos feel. They're using his music, they're using the found footage approach, at least in some portion of this movie, which at least to me in my experience watching his Backrooms series is a crucial element of what makes the series so special and so engaging. You don't see a lot of movies nowadays made with found footage, yet here we are with an A24 Backrooms movie by Kane Pixels, and they are allowing him to have found footage in this movie. That alone, outside of what he has had to say about this movie, makes me feel like they are allowing him to do what he needs to do to tell the rest of his backroom story in this movie, to continue the legacy of what he started on YouTube in this movie. Not only that, but as we all know, the Backrooms, the idea of the Backrooms started from one single image on the internet. The Backrooms is an original idea. The Backrooms is not a major franchise film. It's not a prequel. It's not a sequel. It's not a remake. And yet with the release of this trailer, it's already making major moves on the internet. Something I already made a short form video about on my TikTok platform is the fact that this movie is coming out the same month as a Star Wars movie, that being The Mandalorian and Grogu. Now, as we all know, as most people who watch movies know, Star Wars is still one of the most recognizable brands on the planet. It may not exactly be what it used to due to the brand damage that has occurred over the past decade, and it is not in the same genre of film as Backrooms, but the reason that I bring this up as it relates to the Backrooms is the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer released mid-February. I believe it was February 16th. And as of the time that I'm recording this video, that trailer has 11 million views. 11 million views, let that number sink in. It also has a plethora of very negative comments. Overall, the reception to this movie does not seem positive, despite the fact that, again, it comes from one of the most recognizable brands on the planet. And it also not only features but stars one of the most popular Star Wars characters of all time, that being Grogu. Like him or hate him, that is a fact. Grogu is immensely popular, or at least when he was first released in the early 2020s, was immensely popular. This is where the Backrooms trailer comes into play. The Backrooms trailer released 2 days ago at the time of me filming this video. video. And right now, as I am sitting here filming this video, I just checked, it has 13 million views, meaning it has already surpassed the views on the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. Not only that, but if you open up the comment sections on the Backrooms trailer, the reception has been overwhelmingly positive, again, with the exception of some minor nitpicks, which is indicative of, as you've likely already gathered, a somewhat new, fully original idea surpassing the popularity, at least this year, of a well-known franchise that has been in the pop culture zeitgeist for decades. And its trailer's outperformance of a Star Wars movie trailer is also more significant because it is a horror movie, and horror movies typically do not perform as well as movies in other genres. Now, that's not to say that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie might not make a bunch of money. It still very well could. But if the Backrooms movie succeeds in terms of box office, critical reception, and audience reception, which I do believe it will succeed in all of those areas, then it might send a very clear message to Hollywood, to the film industry, about what audiences really want to see, especially in a hypothetical scenario in which the Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming out the same month underperforms, which I do still think is a possibility. I might be wrong, it's not guaranteed, but it is a possibility in my opinion. And if that happens, if that message is sent, it could begin to pave the way forward for a renaissance in the film industry. And that excites me. It's not that I don't like any franchise films or any franchise TV shows. I do. I've talked about it on here before. I love Lord of the Rings. I love the MCU. I love Dune. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Legend of Zelda, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. All of those things are or are part of major franchises, but there is a part of me that's tired of everything just being from those major franchises. And everything that's not a part of those, again, just being endless sequels, prequels, and remakes. I'm tired of it. I want something new. I want new original stories. I don't want movie studios to just keep going back to franchises that were created in the 80s, 90s, maybe the early 2000s, and milking them to death. I don't want that, and I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of people watching this video likely will not want that. I know my audiences on other platforms don't want that. I know the audiences of so many other content creators in the film and TV spaces across all platforms don't want that. Yet it feels like our voices have not fully been heard. And I do think the Backrooms has a part to play in potentially changing that. It doesn't have to do it alone. Project Hail Mary just came out. I have a video that I'm making about that. I haven't decided if I'm going to release that video before or after this one. That's not a sequel or a prequel or a remake. It's a one-off adaptation of a very popular book. But even with that, there have been recent rumors that they're potentially looking to make a sequel because of its success, which, unless it's based off of a sequel novel that Andy Weir creates, we don't need that. I know I've talked about far more than just the Backrooms trailer or the Backrooms movie in this video, but that's because this video was always intended to be far more than just a video about that trailer or about the movie. It's supposed to be about what this movie potentially represents for the future of filmmaking and for the future of the film industry. I might talk about my experience watching the entire YouTube series as well as The Oldest View, which I might even like better. I'm not really sure. I really like The Oldest View, as well as this actual trailer and diving deep into that in its own video, in a separate video. But for this video, that just about sums up my thoughts. If you agree, if you feel similarly, let me know in the comments below. If you disagree, if you love all these remakes, sequels, and prequels that we've been making and you think everything that I had to say was absurd, also let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button or if you hit the hype button. I heard that's a new thing on here. And if you really like this video, share it with a friend. Share it with somebody who loves the Backrooms or somebody who just loves movies and wants the future of the film industry to be brighter than it's ever been before. Thanks for watching, brochachos. I will see you guys in the next one.